time to start planning for Virtual Run London. I'm Helen, the Cheesecake Runner, and I help first-time marathoners get trained, ready and prepared to run their race. And each day over the next few weeks, I'm going to be going live with tips to help you prepare to run your Virtual London race. And it's day one. So today's tip number one is to plan how you're going to be running your 26.2 miles. So are you actually going to be running Virtual London? Let me know in the comments. How excited are you? I am so excited. I'm going to be running it around Windsor Great Park, and I've already started thinking about my running route and my running strategy. But one of the first things you need to be thinking about is working out how you're going to accomplish your 26.2 miles. So what are your thoughts? What are your current thoughts? Are you going to be running it all in one go? Or are you going to be breaking up your runs into sort of chunks throughout the day? Now, in this short video, I'm going to be giving you some tips and ideas of things to consider before you finalize your race day and your running plan. But once you've decided on your virtual run goal and how you're going to be running it, make sure that you've signed up to my Get Your Virtual Marathon Race Prep Right workshop that I'm going to be doing next Wednesday. And at that workshop, I'm going to be giving you the essential race day prep advice, so you can be confident you've done all you can in terms of prep before the day. So let's think about those 26.2 miles. We're running a marathon. So what we've been told is we've got 24 hours to complete those 26.2 miles, and we need to be running on the 4th of October. We can do that distance as fast or as slow as we like, and we can break the distance up into sort of mini challenges throughout the day. We can run on our own or with other runners doing the virtual marathon, or with friends and family supporting us running segments to keep on track. So got some advice, got some tips for you to start thinking about how you're going to be running your virtual run on the day. So first up, you really do need to decide whether or not you're going to attempt 26.2 miles all in one go, or whether or not you're going to be breaking it into smaller chunks throughout the day. Now that might be more manageable for some of you. If this is going to be your first attempt at 26.2 miles, it can feel a little bit daunting as to whether you're going to be doing it all in one go. So first up, think about whether or not you're going to do it all in one go, or you're going to be at chunks throughout the day. Then number two is you need to decide whether or not you're going to run it like a race, or you're going to break your long run, your 26.2 miles, or all of the other distances you're doing, whether or not you're going to break it down, and maybe you'll run a bit, maybe you'll run another section, and maybe you'll finish off with a nice walking section right at the end. Now, a lot of you, I know, were really sort of a little bit down about running earlier on this year, especially when races were cancelled, and then London just kept postponing a decision about what we were going to be doing. I know a lot of you really haven't got back into training until last week. So if that's you and you've not been training very much through summer or through spring when we were in lockdown, then I really don't recommend that you attempt to train to run 26.2 miles and train to run the entire distance in just 8 weeks. If you took a lot of time out through the spring and through lockdown. But if you've been training well and maybe you started your marathon training way back in June, thinking that we were all going to be running the streets of London in October, and if you're feeling great and your training is really going well, then go for it. Really set yourself a nice goal and go for it. Treat your virtual run as if you were going to be running a marathon. I'm going to be coming on with some more tips later on over the next few days and few weeks, giving tips about support. But first up, the first decision you need to be making is really how you're going to be attempting your 26.2 miles. So the first option is you do it all in one go. And I know plenty of you are already thinking that way. So I'd love to know, are you one of those guys? Are you thinking about giving it a shot and really getting out there and running it all in one shot? Gary, hi, hello penguins. Are you going to be doing it? Are you going to be doing Virtual London? So that's the first thing you think of. Are you going to do it all in one go? Now, if you're not thinking we're going to do it all in one go, we have got the option to chunk up the run into more manageable chunks throughout the day. So you could, let's say, you could do break it down into two and do 2 half marathon distances with a bit of a rest in between. That's one option that you could do. You could do a half and maybe 2 10Ks or 4 10Ks or 8 5Ks. You know, there's a little bit extra on the end, but there are numerous ways that you can chunk up your 26.2 miles. And it really is up to you how many sort of breaks you take throughout the course of the day. But I do recommend right now you have a jolly good think about how you're going to tackle this race, because once you've got that sorted, once you've got an idea as to how the day is going to pan out, then you can start thinking about your training and getting prepared. So let's think about chunking it up. You don't have to run all of those segments. I know quite a few runners who are thinking that they're going to run the half marathon. So they'll do their first half and they'll do it as a nice, gentle half marathon run. But they'll then have a bit of a break and then take on the 10K, the next one, and they'll do a run walk with that one to save a bit of energy, save a bit of momentum throughout the day. And then they're going to finish up their run, maybe walking the final 10K. No one says we can't walk. It is perfectly acceptable to walk the final 10K or to run the entire race. So have a think about how you're going to structure and how you're going to break up those 26.2 miles. Once you've done that, then you can really start training and think about your plan and how you need to adapt your training to get you prepared for the day. Now, let's think about chunks and chunks of running through the day. Another thing you need to be thinking about is how long your rest breaks are going to be. So you need to think about that and you need to practice them too. I would recommend that if you're going to chunk things up and have a bit of a break, you want that break to be long enough so you could have the opportunity to have a shower, maybe eat something and have a little bit of a rest. But you don't want your break to be too long that it's hard to get out the door and your legs start seizing up. That might be okay for your first break, but you know, after you've run maybe 20 miles, the final one, you really don't want to be all seized up and immobile to get going. Even if you're just walking the final 10K, you really want to make sure you're going to finish it on a high. So also think about your rest breaks, your recovery breaks, and what you're going to be doing in those breaks and how long you're going to be doing it. So right now you need to think about, are you going to run the race all in one go? Are you going to chunk it up? And if you're going to, are you going to run it all, or are you going to walk, or walk parts of your run? Now's the time to start thinking about it. And then also, finally, if you're going to be chunking up your long run, how long are your rest breaks going to be? So have a think about that. We've got time at the moment to start mulling it over, but really that's the first thing that you need to be thinking about before you really get deep into training for Virtual London. And you don't want to be thinking about this and making a decision the day before or the week before, because then you won't have practiced and prepared for what you're going to be doing on the day. Guys, the weeks are ticking by quickly. I can't believe it. You know, we're 6 and a bit weeks away from Virtual London, and it's soon going to be time to run our race. So it really is time to have a think about all of these things and to start planning and preparing for the day. Now, next Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a workshop to help you get your Virtual London race prep right. In this workshop, I'm going to help you get organised for the final weeks of your training and your preparations, because I want you to be confident that you are going to power through your 26.2 miles right to the finish line of your Virtual London Marathon on the day. So what am I going to be talking about in this workshop? So I'm going to be talking about taper and explaining why it's so important to taper, which is all about reducing your training ahead of your race or virtual run day. Even if you've only just started getting back into running, it's still important that you take the time to reduce the runs that you're doing ahead of race day, because you don't want to be knackered when you would start out and attempt your 26.2 miles. So I'm going to be talking about the importance of taper and explaining how to be doing that for virtual run day. Also, you'll learn about what to be eating the week before your run or your virtual race. I'm going to take you through how to load your body with energy to power you around your run. And in this workshop, I'm going to give you some tips and advice about what you need to be doing to finalize your logistics and everything else you need to be doing to get organized, to get yourself ready to run on the day. We don't have the advantage of an entire race crew preparing everything for us. So there's a lot more things that we need to be thinking about for our own personal Virtual London runs. So I'm going live at 7:30 next Wednesday with this workshop, and you can come and join me by clicking clicking the link below this video. And hope you're going to come and join us. We're going to have lots and lots of advice to share. It's your opportunity to come and pick my brains about what I'm doing, how I'm preparing for Virtual London as well. So guys, let's do this. It's going to be a massive opportunity, and I cannot wait till October, and then to get my hands on, you know, the special London 40th anniversary race day bling and t-shirt. Take care, and I shall see you next Wednesday.